So I really appreciate it. You used a method that I wish you could use on US attorneys. You know I have 10 US attorneys who are phenomenal. A Harvard, a Yale, or this or that. All top. And the problem is they're not going to ever be confirmed. I guess I put them in. They'll be there for 3 or 4 months, whatever it's, and then they have to leave. Because any time you have, as you know, any time you have a Democrat senator, not even 2, just 1, they'll say, because of the time we're in, we're not approving that person. We're not approving. They never do. They won't approve. And therefore, because of blue slip, I have to tell the person after 3 months, I'm sorry, you'll have to leave. And I put somebody else in. And I've had Democrat senators say the only one we'll ever approve is a Democrat. This is not constitutional. And you really, I hope you can look at that blue slip thing, because I have 10 people that are going to that are phenomenal, and they're going to have to leave office, highly educated, top of their class, everything, and they're going to have a mark on their career that they were a US attorney for 3 months or 4 months, and then they had to leave. And that's so unfair. It's unfair to the public, because the public voted for me in a landslide, and I'm supposed to be picking the US attorneys. And this goes for judges also, but actually, more so even for the US attorney with a blue slip. So I have these phenomenal people, many of them young, but truly fantastic people, and they're wondering what's going to happen in another 3, 4, 5 weeks. They're going to have to leave office. I think it's a shame, and I hope you can do something about it, because I'd like to tell those people we put you there, and you're not going to have on your resume for the rest of your life. You were there for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and you left like you got canned. So, I hope you look at that. Very important. And after your pivotal changes to the Senate rules last month, as a result, this is what you did. The unprecedented obstruction by the Democrats. We've confirmed more than 175 public servants, people that are phenomenal to keep post, and that's just been over the last couple of weeks. It's an unbelievable thing what you've done, John. With you, all of you together. So, working closely with me and House Majority, the Republican Senate also gave us the largest working-class tax cut in American history. And you passed the Lake and Riley Act to throw illegal alien criminals out of our country. You passed a genius act and the Take It Down Act with the support of our wonderful First Lady. By the way, she got actual support from the other side. It was bipartisan. I think Rand didn't vote for it again, but I think it was only Rand. You had bipartisan support other than maybe Rand. But, another one I'm going to ask you to vote for, and it's in the House now, and I hear it's doing well in the House, James. It's Kate's Law. A young lady named Kate Steinle. I remember it so well. Probably 8 or 10 years ago now in San Francisco. She was, holding hands with her father on the San Francisco pier, looking out into the water. This beautiful. Everything was beautiful, but the person wasn't beautiful that did this. And, this was an illegal alien that came into our country 5 times, was thrown out 4 or 5 times, I don't even know, but a lot. And came back and shot her through the head. And she went down, and she looked at her father. Daddy, Daddy, something happened, something happened. And she immediately passed away in his arm. And I mean, you can imagine it was so sad. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person. Father was destroyed. Virtually destroyed. And they passed a father they wanted to pass what they call Kate's Law. And it's now again in Congress. And I hear we're going to get it passed in Congress. And when it gets up to the Senate, I hope you guys can pass it. And basically, very simply, it says that if you're an illegal alien and you come in and you get thrown out, if you come back and get caught, you have to spend 10 years in jail. Very simple. Very simple. If they would have had that, Kate Steinle would be alive today. That was a big event at the time. If you remember, Bill O'Reilly, for those of you that like Bill, I think I like Bill, but he was the one he devoted his life to that law, trying to get it passed. I think it's time that we pass it so that if you get taken out of the country and you come back illegally, knowing that this law is in existence, you go to jail for a 10-year period. And it's going to keep the repeat offenders from coming in. It's going to really keep them from coming in. Senate Republicans have already voted 11 times to get our government back and open for business. We have record business. We're going to be, I think, by the time I hit month number 12, I think we're going to have $20 trillion of investment. We're over 17 right now. As an example, President Biden had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're going to have $20 trillion in less than 12 months, and we're over 17 trillion right now. So it's the largest amount in our country by far, by many times that's in our country. But here's the one, it's the largest amount in the history of the world. There's never been a country that's had anywhere near 17, or it will be 20, and it's going up fast. A lot of it's because of tariffs, because they're coming in, because they don't want to pay tariffs. In other words, they make their product in a certain country, and they used to just send it in here, and there was no charge. Absolutely. Now, if they have to pay a 20%, 30%, 50%, 100%, or 2% tariff, they say, well, it's better if I build my plant in the United States. It had always amazed me for 10, I did this first term. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country in first term. We had COVID, and we did a good job with that. That was a curse for every country in the world. It was terrible. But we had the greatest economy we ever had. But if you remember, I started the tariffs, but I held it off because it wouldn't have exactly been good at the time to tell France, what they were going through. What Spain was going through, and Italy was going through that. By the way, we're going to charge you tariffs. But I had started the process. We were going, the country was doing good, and I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. I put the full tariffs on China. Biden left the tariffs because he couldn't. It was too much money. But they gave so many exceptions that they were essentially meaningless. In other words, here's the tariffs, but you don't have to pay if you look at somebody the wrong way. You don't have to pay, so they didn't pay very much. But with me, they were paying hundreds of billions of dollars. And again, I have a great relationship with President Xi. I expect to be able to make a good deal with him, and he'll make a good. I want him to make a good deal for China, but it's got to be fair. For years, they were making $5, $6, $700 billion. $700 billion, and we'd be making nothing. It was a one-sided. Honestly, we built their military. We built China's military with the money that we lost for so many years getting ripped off. So now we're going to have a fair deal. I think we're going to have a very successful meeting. Certainly, there are a lot of people that are waiting for it. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe it won't happen. Things can happen where, for instance, maybe somebody will say, I don't want to meet.